So this is a beautiful book called An Unquiet Mind, a memoir of moods and madness. It's an autobiographical about a lady who lives with what they used to call manic depression, but nowadays it is referred to bipolar disorder. And it details her whole life, basically. And what's interesting about the book is this lady eventually went on to become a clinical psychologist, but for most of her life she didn't know that she suffered from the very thing that she was helping her patients with, which was manic depression or bipolar disorder. So she has this interesting journey of being aware of the disorder and then ultimately medicating herself with lithium, and how that changed her life for the better. But she also talks about the high highs of what it's like to experience bipolar. She describes it as flying on the rings of Saturn, I believe, where she'd just be in moments of mania, staying up all night, coming up with crazy ideas, amazing ideas, and just these intense rushes of emotions, energy, and high states of mind. But then ultimately crashing and having very depressive, low moods and states of mind and suicidal thoughts, etc. Anyways, it's a fascinating recount of what it's actually like to live with something like bipolar disorder. And she ultimately says towards the end of the book that she doesn't miss the low moods and the negative part of the disorder at all. And now she is more stable. Obviously her life is therefore more stable and a lot more easier to exist with the condition. But she leaves with a beautiful line saying, although I miss the low moods, the one thing I also miss as well is flying on the rings of Saturn, because there's nothing else like it, that ecstatic state of what was mania. So it's a beautiful book, fascinating, super eye-opening, and it really deepens your compassion for people who suffer from or live with, however you want to look at it, manic depression or bipolar. So it's called An Unquiet Mind, a memoir of moods and madness.